that was huge for me, that my father wasn't able to, have home ownership, and to get out of the system and be able to step into home ownership is something I can pass on. One thing that was very important for me was to leave something behind to my children. What wealth can I build, not only for me, but for generations to come? So until you go through a program that can break it down and to really show you that it's obtainable, you really don't know. And so that's what Hope Community did for me.
Our mission is really one about comprehensive community development. And what that means to Hope is that it is both about the people and the place.
We usually decide to say like, oh, we're gonna have 2 people become homeowners this year, but it's actually been more than that. And I'm really passionate about seeing people of color taking home ownership, taking land back, owning homes.
That's a large part of me wanting to not only do a single family home, but to want to have a multi-family home.
The world's a pretty complicated place these days, and people often say, what's the one thing I can do to make it better? And I say, I'll give you the one thing you can do to make it better when you give me the one ingredient it takes to bake a cake. The fact of the matter is there are recipes for success. They need lots of different strategies, they need lots of different people, and all of us together can do the things that none of us can do alone.
So the OneMPLS Fund was conceived and launched in 2018. It is meant to be nimble, flexible, and adaptive to changing needs in our community. There's some pillars that ground the fund, and those again are connected to our mission at the Minneapolis Foundation. We want to fund projects that demonstrate systems change, innovative thinking and actions, multi-generational approaches, and then also we're looking for projects that embed community voice. We returned to housing with this fund based on what we were hearing from our partners, that coming out of the pandemic with the end of the moratoriums on eviction, other support for housing that you saw during the pandemic, with all of that ending, we're seeing a lot of folks in crisis. So it was an important issue for us to return to based on what we were hearing from our partner nonprofits in the community, and then also what we're seeing in terms of trends.
The OneMPLS Fund was actually one of the very first funders to invest in our idea about community ownership. And when I say it was an idea, that's because this was pre-pandemic. We hadn't yet run a training, we hadn't had any graduates, but we knew from our listening and engagement with community that this was a thing people were interested in. We knew that we were putting together a good model that could work.
You can think about the community, people who can't afford $1,500 rent for a 1-bedroom apartment, 2-bedroom apartment. There's big families out here and they're able to pay it, or they're paying it. And so if we support people who can come from renters to home ownership, not only will it give them a chance to maybe have something more affordable, but also they can leave something generational for their family and build that wealth, generational wealth. And we're not paying somebody else's mortgage off, but we're paying our own mortgage off, and we're building something within our own family.